Hi everyone, just a quick demo for those of you who are unable to use Anaconda for your environment management and instead need to use the sort of core Python capabilities for that. So for the assessment, you will want to make a folder to put the assessment notebook in when Dan and I share it along with the data that will be shared at the same time. So what I'd recommend is create yourself an HSMA assessment folder somewhere on your computer that you will be able to access on the day. Now, attached to the Slack messages about the assessment, I've added some requirements files. I've downloaded one of them here, requirements. In this case, it's the one for versions 3.9 to version 3.11 of Python. I'm going to copy that into the folder that I've created. Here I've just put mine in C HSMA Assessment Demo, but copy this to wherever you are putting your assessment notebooks. And I'm just going to rename this just to make sure it just says requirements.txt, just so that VS Code can find it when we get to the next step. Next thing I'm going to do is open myself a new VS Code window. I'm doing that here by right-clicking and choosing New Window. I'm then going to choose Open Folder, and I'm going to open the folder that I have created here. So I'm going to select this folder. Now, once I've done this, I'm going to trust the authors, and you can see all I have in this folder at the moment is requirements.txt. I'm going to press Control, Shift and P on my keyboard to bring up the Quick Actions menu. And at the top of my list, you can see I have Python Create Environment. If that's not at the top of your list, you can start typing in Create an Environment until you get that option turning up, Python Create Environment. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose venv, Virtual Environment. What I'm then going to do is choose my Python version from the drop-down list. Now you can see I've got several Python versions installed on my machine. You may only have one, so choose whichever one is available to you and which matches the requirements files that I've sent out. So in this case, the requirements that I downloaded were suitable for versions 3.9 through to version 3.11. So I'm going to choose this one here, version 3.11.9. Now, when this comes up, you'll see I have asked for the dependencies I want to install, and it has found the requirements.txt file that is available in this folder. So I'm going to tick this. You can see that it's now ticked. It says 1 selected, and now I will click OK. At the bottom of this list, it's now showing me that it's creating the environment. It will give me some logs if I run into any problems and I want to view them. But for now, I'm just going to pause the recording whilst this environment gets created. This could take several minutes, maybe even longer, so just leave this running. Eventually, you will hopefully have your environment installed, and I'll see you in a moment. Hi everyone. Back now, and what you can see here is that the environment has finally installed. It took quite some time, but we got there. So it's now telling me that the following environment is selected. What you can see as well is we've got this new folder that's been automatically created called .venv. You don't really need to worry about what's in this folder, but that's where your environment is installed. Now what I'm going to quickly show you now, I'm going to copy over into the place where I've got my venv and my requirements installed, the zip, in this case of the mock, but it will be very similar when you want to unzip the repository that will contain the on-the-day actual assessment. I'm going to right click here, I'm going to choose extract all, and I'm going to extract the contents of that zip. It's going to bring it up in an extra window. I don't need that. All that matters now is I have a folder that contains the data and the sample assessment. So what I'm going to do over here now in my sample assessment questions, I'm going to open up that notebook, and I'm going to go into where it says over here detecting kernels, or it might say select kernel, one of the two. Now the important thing is what I'm going to select is the Python environment we've just set up. So when I click on Python environments in this drop down, so I've clicked on detecting kernels or select kernel, I've chosen Python environments, and at the top of this list, might take a moment because it's still looking for those new kernels. What we will get is an environment called .venv. I'm just going to give it a moment to actually continue searching for that new environment. Hi everyone, so we're back now, and it didn't ever seem to want to find that kernel, so I've closed and reopened VS Code, same folder, and you can see now instead of detecting kernels, it's come up nicely with select kernel for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click select kernel, Python environments, and you can see here we get this recommended environment. It's starred and it says .venv. You can see that file path is in our .venv folder, and if I now click on this, you can see it says .venv at the top right, and when I start to run some code here, I'm just going to make sure that this prints something so you can see an output. Check I've got venv selected up here, press play, and you can see now it's successfully running. And if I were to import one of the packages from across the course, so let's import Mesa, for example, you can see that this is successfully going to run. Might take a moment to find it. Just give it a second there to find that package. And there we go, it's imported Mesa, and we would find the same with something like importing SymPy. All of these are packages that are not available by default in the standard environment, but they are installed in our virtual environment because they were listed in our requirements.txt file. So geopandas, etc. will all be available within this environment when you are running .venv at the top right as your selected environment.